Well, I am liver, lover, and some people might even say that I'm a lover. But the other thing that I am is a sweetie artist. And when people knock at my DMs trying to commission me, you know that door is flying open. But I'm gonna be honest, there are a lot of things that I don't know. And sometimes when people commission me, I need to learn a lot of things. Yes, I've been doing 3D for a really long time now. But would you ask a classical painter to do abstract? I don't think so. But I'm gonna be honest, when I received this DM, it made me more than happy. How often do you receive a DM from a person asking you to make a fully rigged model with multiple expressions that can move together with you? Yeah, I thought so. Of course I was stressed. It gave me anxiety and I didn't know what to do. Do I decline? But I love money. Do I agree and learn a bazillion new things that I never did before? Answer was logical. I just needed to pretend I didn't see the DM and continue living my life at peace. But I'm kind of hard, so of course I replied. My commissioner was super lovely to me and knew that I never dealt with it before, so that took a bit of the stress away. And now that I put myself into this torture chamber, it was time to start. So, what will be the list of things for me to do? First of all, I needed to model a character, do the UVs, texture it, rig it, add blend shapes, and after learn the whole part of Unity. Sounds easy, right? Modeling is one of my favorite parts of the process. It's always super important to have references because they help you to make it as faithful as possible and also don't mess up the anatomy. I use a cube that I subdivide twice for a head, and for every other body part I use a circle with 8 points. It's always easier to add more cuts while you work and when it's needed, and I like to keep things as low poly as I can without exaggerating. I decided that the character will consist of 3 parts: head, sweater, and legs, which means that I'm not gonna connect them to each other. The part of the sweater will consist of sleeves and a collar together with the torso, and I wanted to make them as puffy and as cozy as possible because the character themselves gave me a vibe of being on a sleepover with their exposed socks and a very big cozy sweater that will protect you from the coldest of the cold. One of the important parts was to add more cuts where the knees and elbows are. It helps the mesh to bend more nicely. And you could ask me, why is it so important? They're just gonna be a VTuber that leans to left and right anyway. But I don't wanted it to be that way. I wanted it to be expressive, I wanted it to show more character, and having arms that move already helps so much. The other super important part of the modeling is trusting the process. I think a lot of people get highly discouraged on the stage because whatever they're making kind of looks goofy or doesn't look exactly right. But it takes a lot of refining to get to a place where it looks even remotely okay. We also need to remember that modeling is not 100% of what you're making. Texturing is, posing, lighting, all of these things contribute into your work. The most terrible part of this model was modeling the hair because some of the things... Wait, what? There is a recording missing. Where did the hair come from? Why is it already here? Wait a minute. So you're saying to me that I've been working on it for hours and the footage is just missing? Oh, what the hell? What do I do now? Now me complaining about making the hair will make no sense. Yeah, it won't make sense. Yeah, whatever. It's just... Let's just continue, okay? Let's just continue. Yeah, just roll it. No, I'm not mad. I'm just kind of disappointed, you know? Just roll the video. Just roll the video, okay? Just roll it. What was I talking about? yeah, hair. Okay, wait. So making the hair took the most of the time for me, and I remade it a couple of times. There's this thing that some elements work amazing in 2D but are hell to remake in 3D space without finding the workarounds. And for me it was the hair. The thing that I wish that I used more before are totally sculpting tools. I'm not a fan of sculpting on its own. In fact, if you're only starting your journey in Blender, I would highly recommend you not to go through the sculpting process. It might seem easier at the start, but it adds way more work later. Especially because of the really heavy topology, they become unusable without doing the retopo. So if you don't know what you're doing, it's better to learn the basics first. But sculpting tools can be used not only when you're sculpting, but when you're modeling as well, and they help out to shape your mesh with more ease. The other thing that helps me a lot is color blocking. It's just using temporary materials so you can see how it's looking so far, before you do any textures. The best way to do it is just to plug in the emission node into material output with your desired color, and voila, it's easy as that. Here you can see me modeling smaller things like ears and a tail and a little fluff, as well as the eyes and after the glasses. And I think the cutest thing was to actually make the little eyes that are real eyes underneath the glasses. I think they're absolutely adorable because they're so small and beady. It's just like, ah, they're so cute. I also love the characters who have like really chunky big glasses with really big pupils on top, when in reality they have tiny eyes underneath. I think it's a peak design, and everyone who doesn't agree can fight me, but I know that I will win. Like, it's just true. I think it's genuinely so adorable. And I also needed to fix the hair because they were clashing with glasses. And that's how our little dude looks so far. The only missing hands, which we're working on, but they look pretty good. And talking about hands that are not only hard to draw in 2D, but also make in 3D. But to be honest, I really like the process of making hands in 3D. For some reason, it's pretty satisfying. And now that the hands are done, the modeling part is finished. Aww, look at their little handies. It took me roughly 2 hours to model all of this. The next step is to do UVs and textures. Psst. What do you mean there's no UV footage? What do you mean there's no UV footage? Oh my god. This is embarrassing. I'll figure something out. So apparently there's a lot of footage missing, unfortunately. So part of me making UVs and a big chunk of me texture painting is just gone, which I'm not super happy about, but we're gonna work with what we have. I'm still super new to all this YouTubing thing and recording everything I do, so you just need to believe me that I will do better next time. Please, 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 please. But enough of excuses, enough of apologizing. I would like to talk more about the thing that I mentioned in the start, which is references. References are insanely important. They help you with anatomy, help you with colors, help you with literally anything. It's like the best thing ever. After all these years, the best advice I've been given is to steal like an artist. Yeah, I know, this phrase is far from being new, but it's so true. Every time you like certain things, you should just try and mimic them as close as possible, combining them with the other different thing from other places. That's how it works. That's how people find their personal style, is by referencing others. You like how this person draws eyes? Try to do the same. Shading from someone else, the way someone does their light, etc. And over time you will perfect it and it will be something of your own. For a really long time, all I've been doing is just trying to repeat 2D artworks I saw online in Blender till I started to get them completely perfect and almost unrecognizable from the original. It's hard to perfect. 3D is not 2D, it has its own nuances and it takes a lot of trial and error to make it look so similar. Just give a look at one of my first tries and one of my recent ones. And just because we are right now on the texture painting, I would love to answer some questions right away. First one would be, do I use a graphic tablet, and if what, which one? The answer is yes, I do use a graphic tablet. It does not have a screen. It's Wacom Intuos M. I bought it like 10 years ago. Do I recommend Vacom? No. You can get a better tablet for way cheaper. And second question would be, what brushes do I use? I use brushes made by Craft Reaper for Blender. I bought them some time ago and I absolutely love them. I will leave a link in the description so you can try them for yourself if you want to. There's a free version and there's a paid version in case you like them. Please support other human artists as much as you can right now because it's really important. I don't necessarily mean monetarily, but also with a like or retweet or follow or subscribing, you know, wink wink. I did not paint the ears or the tail or the glasses because I thought that I would give a try at shaders. The thing about me that I have zero clue about how to make shaders. That's something that I never tried to do myself unless I watched some YouTube tutorials. Because after I asked the commissioner about the dots on the ears and I discovered that they move, I just needed to do that. And I needed a little bit of help from my friend offline. Gladly he came in clutch to help me, and look how amazing this looks! Oh my god! Okay, hear me out. I'm sick of giving excuses, but I don't think I have any footage of rigging this silly guy or doing weight paint on the rest of the parts, so all you can see is me trying to figure out how ears work. Nonetheless, I can still try to explain what I did here. I did try to rig a model with Rigify add-on, but sometimes it's genuinely easier to do it yourself instead of trying to fix something that's already done, like in this case. This model has only 4 fingers for hands and I needed to add spring bones for the tail and ears as well. I need to be clear that since I finished my university, I haven't rigged a model even once, and I have tried to avoid it, animating and moving things in different ways that were way more comfortable for me. That said, it was also the first time that I tried weight paint. I was always kind of scared of doing it before, it seemed too complicated in my eyes, but honestly, now that I needed to approach it either way, I found it really relaxing and fun to do. It wasn't nearly as scary as I imagined it to be over all of these years. It does take a lot of going back and forth to see if it works as you intended, but honestly, I found it way more entertaining than annoying. Making this model made me try a lot of things that I was avoiding before, didn't like to do. Shape keys were suddenly one of those things. Somehow it makes me sound like I don't know Blender at all, and truth be told, there's so much stuff with this program that no matter how many things you do actually know, there will be even more new things to find out. They just never end. But enough of praising the almighty Blender, time to talk about what I'm working on. Making expressions is really fun. It gives your model more character, making them more quirky and unique. Since I didn't do those things before, I wanted to limit myself to the basics, like being annoyed, laughing, and sad. Those are the main expressions, at least in my head. I also needed to do the whole AR kit, which is shape keys that respond for blinking and mouse movements, so if the commissioner wanted to connect themselves to an app or a device that lets them track their movements with better quality, they can even blink or puff their cheeks. You don't really need to do all the 70 or how many shape keys there are all for AR kit, but I wanted to test myself, even if honestly this wasn't the best model to try this out since they don't really have the anatomy of a human head. So I could have avoided it and just made the most important ones, like looking left, right, down, up, and mouth opening to vowels. Before we start with the Unity part, I need to tell you something. Unity is something that I have zero knowledge about. I never used it and I am genuinely terrified of it still to this day. Except one time when I decided that I need to become a game dev and make the most amazing game in the universe. And I made a Flappy Bird. That still haunts me to this day. Yeah. Safe to say now you know why I never touched it again. I'm going to be honest, the parts that you need to do in Unity are not as hard as I thought they would be. You need to import the model, assign the material, you do all the shaders from the start because you can't import them from Blender. No biggie, you know, tell which bone is which, and after you can export as VRM model to... Oh yeah, this thing also happens. One of the most fun things is to look at spring bones. They're so cute as soon as you figure out how to do them. Aww. This is the part that was the most repetitive to do. You need to add every blend shape with the right name in, otherwise the AR kit won't recognize them and they will be unusable. Will you feel sorry for me if I tell you that I did it 3 times? All 72 shape keys? 3 times. After all is done, you just need to export in VRM or VCFace format and import it into VCFace with your preferred settings. This is me trying it out before I added the shaders. The main difference is the VCFace format supports all shaders and not only mToon like VRM. Like this, you have a lot of possibility to add more creative things to your model and not only a toon shader. So, what are my final thoughts? I think that these types of things always help you improve rapidly since you have a strict deadline to follow. Every commission you take doesn't necessarily mean that you will already know how to do 100% of it. I would say that most of my commissions I needed to go and look things up or ask others to help me and give me advice on how to better accomplish what I need to do. Asking for help is never embarrassing and most of the people are super happy to help you grow and see you progress. That's the best feeling ever. I would be lying if I said I wasn't scared and intimidated by the things I needed to learn how to do or remember how to do, trying to dust off some memories I had from university that I didn't use because it was easier to do my way. However, sticking to your own methods sometimes damages your growth. You sit in your box without trying anything new. I know very well the fear of things not coming out perfect right away. Believe me, even if it seems that everything worked right away for me, it really didn't. I needed to redo the rig and weight paint multiple times and the Unity part just wouldn't work, not letting me export things or things would go horribly wrong. But nowadays there's nothing that you can't fix or look up on the internet. By doing this commission I discovered a lot of new things that I actually enjoy doing and started incorporating them into my other projects that I'm working on bit by bit, opening new horizons. Even this video, it would have never existed without this commission and you would never know how much I struggled. I can't help but feel that in this months I've been working on it, I grew more than I did in the span of years that I've been doing 3D, and that's a very crazy thing to say. The moral of the story is simple. Don't be scared of trying to do something new, it can be the best thing you ever done. Toodles!